India and Bangladesh exchange 5 memorandums of understanding following bilateral talks between Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bangladesh President Mohammad Abdul Hamid held at Bangabhavan. India always stands by Bangladesh's development and progress, says Narendra Modi. Indian Prime Minister pays tribute to Bangabandhu by placing wreath at his mausoleum at Tungipara. Bangabandhu's deep trust on people unprecedented, comments Narendra Modi. Indian Prime Minister visits temples of Joshua Shuri at Shamnagar in Satkhira and Horichand Tagore at Orakandi in Gopalganj and pays obeisance. Communal groups under BNP's patronage went on rampage in Dhaka, Chattogram and Brahmanbaria to foil Golden Jubilee of Independence celebration, says Ubaidul Qadir. It is improper to think government's flexibility as its weakness, says Information Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, warning that any chaotic situation should be suppressed with strong hand. First phase of voting for West Bengal Assembly election held in India. 8th state election ends on 29th April. And match between host Nepal and Bangladesh ends in goalless draw in Tri-Nation Football Tournament in Kathmandu. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Centre. I'm Shongit Ahmed with you tonight. Those were the headlines, and now on to the rest of the news. Dhaka and Delhi exchanged 5 MOUs which are early signed to enhance cooperation in various sectors including disaster management, resilience and mitigation, trade, ICT and sports. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnessed the MOU exchange ceremony after the bilateral talks between Bangladesh and India that took place at the Prime Minister's office this evening. These are MOU on disaster management, resilience and mitigation, MOU between Bangladesh National Cadet Corps BNCC and National Cadet Corps of India INCC, and MOU on establishment of a framework of cooperation in the area of trade, remedial measures between Bangladesh and India. Besides a tripartite MOU on supply of ICT equipment, courseware and reference books and training for Bangladesh Bharat Digital Service and Employment and Training BDSET Center, and another tripartite MOU on establishment of sports facilities in Rajshahi College Field and surrounding areas. Prior to the exchange of MOUs, a bilateral meeting was held between visiting Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. At the meeting, the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina led the Bangladesh delegation and the Prime Minister of India led his country's delegation. During the briefing, Press Secretary Ihsanul Karim said that 2 Prime Ministers reviewed various issues of mutual cooperation between the 2 countries during the bilateral meeting. In the meeting, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina hoped for a more active role of India in the Rohingya issue. Sheikh Hasina thanked the Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi and the people of India for awarding Bangabandhu the Gandhi Peace Prize. Earlier, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a tete-a-tete. During the meeting, they discussed various issues of mutual interest. Bangladesh will get priority getting coronavirus vaccine from India. Visiting India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Indian Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla told this at a press briefing at a hotel in Dhaka this evening.
Both Prime Ministers jointly unveiled the stamps that were respectively issued by the postal departments of our countries on this, to mark this momentous occasion. They decided to celebrate the 6th of December, the day on which India formally recognized Bangladesh as Maitri Diwas. The Prime Minister thanked Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for erecting a war memorial in Bangladesh in Ashuganj, Brahmanbadia district, in recognition of the contribution of Indian soldiers who were martyred during the liberation war of Bangladesh. The Prime Ministers laid the foundation stone for 5 packages of the Rupur power evacuation project, which is an important component of the line of credit, the third line of credit that India has extended to Bangladesh. There are a total of 8 packages, and this 5 packages have been now sort of for which foundation stone has been laid. And this transmission line costs over $1 billion. This is a very important component of the LOC, as I mentioned. The 2 Prime Ministers also inaugurated 3 border huts on the borders between our 2 countries.
India will stand always beside development and progress of Bangladesh. Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, said this during a call-on President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan this evening. On arrival at the Bongo Bhavan, the President welcomed him with flowers. The President's Press Secretary, Joinal Abidin, told that during the meeting, the President thanked the Indian Prime Minister for attending celebrations of the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the Golden Jubilee of Independence. The President said his visit would be epoch-making history of Bangladesh-India bilateral relations. President Abdul Hamid thanked the government and people of India for conferring the Gandhi Peace Prize on visionary leader Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Mentioning India as a trusted friend of Bangladesh, the President expressed gratitude to the government and the people of India for their support and cooperation during the country's liberation war. The President thanked the government of India for sending the corona vaccine to Bangladesh as a gift. The President expressed hope that the corona vaccines would come from India in time on a commercial basis. During the meeting, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said his country has always considered Bangladesh as a trusted friend. He lauded the socio-economic development of Bangladesh. Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen, Agriculture Minister Dr. Abdul Razak, and concerned secretaries were present during the meeting. Later, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi signed the visitors' book. Visiting Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, at Tungipara in Gopalganj, marking the birth centenary of Bangabandhu and the Golden Jubilee of Independence. The Indian Prime Minister paid homage to Bangabandhu by placing a wreath at his mausoleum there. After laying the wreath, Narendra Modi stood in solemn silence for some time as a mark of profound respect to the memory of Bangabandhu, the architect of Bangladesh's independence. A special munajat seeking eternal peace of Bangabandhu and other martyrs of the August 15 carnage and martyrs of the liberation war was also offered.
মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী বাংলাদেশ সফরে এসেছেন, আপনি তার দীর্ঘ হায়াত দান করুন। বাংলাদেশ এবং ভারতের সুসম্পর্ক বজায় রাখার তৌফিক দান করুন। আমিন।
The Indian Prime Minister also signed the visitors' book and planted a sapling there. Earlier, on his arrival at Tungipara, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was received by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the Bangabandhu Memorial Complex with a bouquet. Sheikh Rehana was also present. Early in the morning, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina paid homage to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, at Tungipara in Gopalganj on the occasion of the birth centenary of Bangabandhu and the Golden Jubilee of Independence of Bangladesh. The Premier paid tributes to Bangabandhu by placing a wreath at his shrine this morning. Bangabandhu's youngest daughter and Prime Minister's younger sister, Sheikh Rehana, accompanied her. After laying the wreath, Sheikh Hasina stood in solemn silence for some time as a mark of profound respect to the memory of Bangabandhu, the architect of independence of the country. They offered Fatiha and joined a special munajat seeking eternal peace of Bangabandhu and other martyrs of the August 15 carnage. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Orkhandi Horichand Thakur Temple after placing wreaths at the mausoleum of Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, at Tungipara today. Narendra Modi performed veneration and prayers at the temple. Later, he joined a public function. In his speech at the function, Narendra Modi said, India and Bangladesh, both the countries, want peace and stability across the world. He said, vision of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his faith on the people of Bangladesh is exemplary.
शेख मुजीबुर रहमान जी का नेतृत्व, उनका विजन और बांग्लादेश के लोगों पर उनका विश्वास एक मिसाल है। भारत और बांग्लादेश दोनों ही देश अपने विकास को अपनी प्रगति से पूरे विश्व की प्रगति देखना चाहते हैं। दोनों ही देश दुनिया में अस्थिरता, आतंक और अशांति की जगह स्थिरता, प्रेम और शांति चाहते हैं। श्री श्री हरिचंद जी ने हमेशा ही आधुनिकता और बदलाव का समर्थन किया था। मुझे बताया गया कि जब महामारी का संकट शुरू हुआ था तो यहां ओराकांदी में आप सभी ने टेक्नोलॉजी को अपनाया। बांग्लादेश आज दुनिया के सामने विकास और परिवर्तन का एक मजबूत उदाहरण पेश कर रहा है और इन प्रयासों में भारत आपका सहयात्री है।
In his speech at the function, Narendra Modi said, India and Bangladesh, both the countries, want peace and stability across the world. He said vision of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his faith on the people of Bangladesh is exemplary. Narendra Modi said India is working in a way so that people of Bangladesh can get corona vaccine, and his country believes it is their duty. He said Bangladesh and India are jointly tackling the coronavirus crisis. The Indian Prime Minister said inspiration of Horichand Thakur is very much important to tackle the challenges before Bangladesh and India. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today offered prayers at the centuries-old Joshua Shuri Kali temple at Ishwaripur village of Shamnagar in Satkira. Modi was welcomed to the ancient temple with beats of traditional drum and blowing of conches. Inside the temple, Modi sat next to the priests and offered veneration while religious text was recited to him. Bilateral talks between Prime Ministers of Bangladesh and India was fruitful. Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momel told this at a press briefing at a hotel in Dhaka this evening.
আর ভারতের প্রধানমন্ত্রী প্রথম কোভিডের সময় দেশের বাইরে গেলেন। এইটা বাংলাদেশ, উনি বলেছেন যে এটা বাংলাদেশের প্রতি তার একটা বিশেষ মমত্ববোধের কারণে, কারণ বাংলাদেশকে ভারত খুব উচ্চ মর্যাদাশীল অবস্থানে করে। আর আমরা খুব আনন্দিত যে তারাও দে অলসো শেড ব্লাড আমাদের কিসের জন্য, মুক্তিযুদ্ধের জন্য। আমাদের প্রধানমন্ত্রী চিটং, তারপরে সিলেট, তারপরে বলছেন যে ফরিদপুরে একটি এয়ারপোর্ট হবে যে শুড বি দি হাব ফর দি হোল রিজন।
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left Dhaka for Delhi, concluding his 2-day state visit to Bangladesh. Agriculture Minister Dr. Abdul Razak and Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen saw him off at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport tonight. Indian Premier Narendra Modi arrived in Dhaka yesterday on a 2-day state visit to Bangladesh at the invitation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on the occasion of the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the Golden Jubilee of Bangladesh's independence. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said communal forces patronized by the BNP have conducted destructive activities in Dhaka, Chattogram and Brahmanbaria to spoil the programs of the Golden Jubilee of the country's independence. He said BNP cannot tolerate successful programs of the Golden Jubilee. Obaidul Qadir said this while briefing journalists through video conference from his official residence in the capital this morning. The Awami League General Secretary said people will certainly give response to the attack inside the Baitul Mukarram National Mosque during Jummah prayer. Obaidul Qadir said BNP is involved with the work to destroy the status of the country in the name of movement against the government.
বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতার সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তীতে এসে বিএনপি স্বাধীনতার চেতনা, মুক্তিযুদ্ধের মূল্যবোধের প্রতি সম্মান ও শ্রদ্ধা প্রদর্শন, দায় সারা ও লোক দেখানো আনুষ্ঠানিকতা মাত্র। গতকাল সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তীর অনুষ্ঠানমালা পণ্ড করতে ঢাকা, চট্টগ্রাম, ব্রাহ্মণবাড়িয়া যে তাণ্ডব লীলা সাম্প্রদায়িক শক্তি প্রদর্শন করেছে, বিএনপি নিঃসন্দেহে এদের পৃষ্ঠপোষক। সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তীর অনুষ্ঠানমালার সফলতা তাদের গাত্রদাহের কারণ। সে কারণে তারা বায়তুল মুকাররমে মসজিদের ভেতরও তাণ্ডব চালাতে এতটুকু সংকোচ বোধ করেনি। তাদের এই ধৃষ্টতার জবাব বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতা প্রিয় জনগণ অবশ্যই দেবে। বিএনপি নেতাদের কথা শুনে জনগণের হাসি পায়। ভারতের রাষ্ট্রপতি প্রয়াত প্রণব মুখার্জির ঢাকা সফরকালেও তারা হরতাল আহ্বান করে এবং বিএনপি নেত্রীর সাক্ষাতের কর্মসূচি থাকলেও সাক্ষাৎ না করে অসৌজন্যতা ভারতের জনগণ নিশ্চয়ই ভুলে যায়নি। গত দুদিন ব্যাপী তারা তাদের সাম্প্রদায়িক দোসরদের নিয়ে যে ন্যাক্কারজনক ঘটনা ঘটিয়েছে তা দেশের জনগণ দেখেছে।
The Road Transport and Bridges Minister also directed the BRTA chairman to investigate yesterday's fatal accident in Rajshahi.
কাটাখালীতে মর্মান্তিক এক সড়ক দুর্ঘটনা, একই পরিবারের 13 জন সহ মোট 17 জনের নিহতের ঘটনায় আমি দুঃখ ও শোক প্রকাশ করছি এবং শোক সন্তপ্ত পরিবারের প্রতি সমবেদনা জানাচ্ছি। এই ঘটনা 7 দিনের মধ্যে নিরপেক্ষ তদন্তের মাধ্যমে প্রতিবেদন প্রদানের জন্য ইতিমধ্যেই বাংলাদেশ রোড ট্রান্সপোর্ট অথরিটির চেয়ারম্যানকে নির্দেশ দেওয়া হয়েছে।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said the government will curb any untoward situation strictly. He said this while speaking at the book unveiling program titled Bangabandhu for You, edited by renowned Indian writer Satyam Roy Choudhury at Jatiyo Press Club today. The Information and Broadcasting Minister said the generation of anti-liberation forces of 1971 are hatching conspiracy to destabilize the country.
ভারতের মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী কোন দলের নেতা হিসেবে বাংলাদেশ সফরে আসেননি। তিনি ভারতবর্ষের প্রধানমন্ত্রী হিসেবে আমাদের সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তীতে সংহতি জানানোর জন্য বঙ্গবন্ধুর জন্ম শতবার্ষিকীতে আমাদের সাথে একাত্মতা পোষণ করার জন্য তিনি বাংলাদেশে এসেছেন। এই যারা বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করছে এই একই গোষ্ঠী 13 সাল 14 সাল 15 সালে বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করেছিল এবং তাদের সাথে ছিল বিএনপি। সেই বিশৃঙ্খলা আমরা মোকাবেলা করেছি, আমাদের অভিজ্ঞতা আছে। সুতরাং আবার বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করার অপচেষ্টা চালাবেন না। আমরা জানি আপনারা কারা। আপনারা বাইতুল মোকাররমে আগুন দিয়েছিলেন, পবিত্র কোরআন শরীফ পুড়িয়েছিলেন, গাছপালা কেটেছিলেন, নিরহ গরুর উপর বোমা ছুড়েছিলেন, মুরগিবাহী গাড়ির উপর আপনারা বোমা ছুড়েছিলেন, পশু পাখিও আপনাদের কাছ থেকে রেহাই পায় নাই। দ্ব্যর্থহীন ভাষায় বলতে চাই, সরকারের নমনীয়তাকে কেউ দুর্বলতা ভাববেন না। এই ধরনের অপচেষ্টা সরকার কঠোর হস্তে দমন করতে বদ্ধপরিকর। সামাজিক যোগাযোগ মাধ্যমে গরম বক্তৃতা দিয়ে দেশে বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করবেন, সেটি আর বরদাস্ত করা হবে না। এবং যারা এই ধরনের বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করবেন, স্বাধীনতার সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তী পালন না করে সেই দিনে দেশে বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করবেন, তাদের মূল উৎপাটন করতে আমরা বদ্ধপরিকর।
Awami League Cultural Affairs Secretary Ashim Kumar Ukil, lawmaker Pankaj Debnath, Daily Bhorer Kagoj editor Shyamol Dotto, Chief Coordinator of Friends of Bangladesh ASM Shamsul Arifin, publisher Shankar Mondol and columnist Subhash Singha Roy spoke among others. And now on to international news. The first phase of West Bengal Assembly elections in India was held today. Voters cast their vote deciding the fate of 191 candidates in 30 constituencies of 5 districts in the first of the 8-phase assembly polls. The districts are Purbo and Paschim Medinipur, Purulia, Jhargram and Bankura. COVID-19 global death toll crosses 27,82,000 as more than 11,558 people died yesterday globally. More than 12,68,73,000 have been infected globally and more than 10,22,81,000 people have recovered so far. The US and current epicenter of the pandemic has now 3,08,57,000 confirmed cases and 5,61,000 deaths. 39 COVID-19 patients died in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll from the pandemic to 8,869. The recovery count rose to 5,33,922 after another 1,971 recovered during the period. A press release of the Directorate General of Health Services confirmed this today. The tally of the infections rose to 5,91,806 with 3,674 new cases. And now news on sports. Bangladesh made goalless draw with host Nepal in their second match of Tri-Nation Football Tournament today. Bangladesh reached the final as the table topper while they earned 4 points from 2 matches for 1 win and 1 draw. Nepal also reached the final for earning 2 points from 2 matches as they are in the second position of the points table. Earlier, Bangladesh beat Kyrgyzstan Olympic team by 1-0 in their first match, while Nepal made goalless draw in their first match. In the final match, Bangladesh will play against Nepal on 29th March. And before we end tonight's news, a recap of the top stories. India and Bangladesh exchanged 5 memorandums of understanding following bilateral talks between Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bangladesh President Mohammad Abdul Hamid held at Bongo Bhavan. India always stands by Bangladesh's development and progress, says Narendra Modi. Indian Prime Minister pays tribute to Bangabandhu by placing wreath at his mausoleum at Tungipara. Bangabandhu's deep trust on people unprecedented, comments Narendra Modi. Indian Prime Minister visits temples of Joshua Shuri at Shamnagar in Satkira and Harichand Tagore at Orakandi in Gopalganj and pays obeisance. Communal groups under the BNP's patronage went on rampage in Dhaka, Chattogram and Brahmanbaria to foil Golden Jubilee of Independence celebrations, says Ubaidul Qadir. It is improper to think government's flexibility as its weakness, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, warning that any chaotic situation should be suppressed with strong hand. First phase of voting for West Bengal Assembly election held in India, 8-state election ends on 29th April. And match between host Nepal and Bangladesh ends in a goalless draw in Tri-Nation Football Tournament in Kathmandu. And that's all from us for the moment. Our next news is at 11:30. Do join us again then. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.